voy a grabar y muy buenos días a todos. ¿Cómo están ustedes hoy?
Bien.
¿Están bien?
Sí.
¿Están bien? Ok, vale. Fantástico. Hoy es lunes, today is Monday. Today was one of those days, you know, you ever have those days where you wake up and you go, ¿qué día es? What day is it? I don't know why I was having one of those days, but I really was. Hoy es lunes, vamos a practicar. We're going to do some practice. We're going to incorporate a number of things. We're going to do a little bit of some storytelling videos. We'll take your questions. We're going to practice with numbers. So what I didn't get to last week, if you've got your handy dandy, any old receipt for practicing numbers, I'm going to give you a few minutes to go look for that because you said, oh, I know I put that away. Where did I squirrel that thing away? But we're going to do some prep before we actually go off and practice numbers. So, okay. So I'll give you a little bit of time to look at that. I want to open it up first to see if you have any questions from reading that you did this week or Duolingo that you did this week. If you have any stray questions, you know, not related to el, la, los, las, not related necessarily to numbers, but anything. ¿Hay alguna pregunta? Nothing at this week. Oh, Suai, sí.
From the Escape Cubano. So I understand tengo mucho miedo means I'm very afraid, but he also used me da miedo.
Me da miedo. Qué buena pregunta. This is a worthy of the whiteboard question. There are many ways to express the idea of scared, afraid. I probably won't even get them all, but we're going to squeeze a few in. So one thing to know is that miedo means fear. Doesn't mean afraid, just means fear. Okay, so o sea, el miedo is fear. Fear. Okay, so entonces, tener is one of those verbs we often pair with certain sensation words, vocabulary of physical sensations. So, you know, we have tengo frío, tengo calor, tengo hambre, I'm hungry, tengo suerte, I'm lucky. But, you know, one of the expressions we often use with tener is miedo. Tengo miedo. Tengo miedo. Literally, I have fear. But, of course, because it is a bad idea to translate word for word, the way we would express the same idea is with the word combination. I am afraid, or I'm afraid, or I'm scared. Oh, yeah, we have different ways to say that in English, and you don't know which way somebody's going to say it until it pops out of their mouth. But tengo miedo, I'm afraid. But there are other ways we can express that idea of I'm scared, I'm afraid. And one is me da miedo. Me da miedo. Literally, it gives, that's the da part. And the it gives, well, it's a situation probably. It could be a thing. Could be a thing, like a shark swimming in the water, yeah. Could be a thing like a great big tidal wave that you see is going to hit you, right? That it gives, something gives. It gives me fear. That is another way that is frequently used in Spanish to say I'm scared, I'm afraid. It gives me fear. But again, we would say I'm scared, and now wow, this is going to imply of something, you know, that something does this. So why do we use me da miedo? Dar is often used with certain nouns. Dar plus a noun. And, you know, I'm going to also preface it and say, we're going to have a little word in front of that. We're going to have a little pronoun here in front of that. This is actually quite a common structure. And that will be conjugated generally probably as da, because a thing gives fear, or dan, if it's more than one thing that gives you fear. Okay. That little pronoun is going to tell who feels the fear. But you're literally saying this thing gives me the sensation of fear. So, me da miedo. Me da miedo, it scares me, right? It scares me. Le da miedo, it scares him or her, right? Depends, him or her. Okay, but many times you can put different kinds of nouns with dar. Let's say you really hate a certain kind of, something grosses you out. Yeah, we've got that expression in English. It grosses me out. Okay, the way they're going to do that is to put in, instead of the noun being miedo, they might use this word, asco. Asco means grossness. Grossness, something, disgust. Your dog has done a big barfola on the floor. Yeah, your dog has upchucked on the floor. And, oh, yuck, is your reaction. Somebody would look at it and say, me da asco, me da asco. It grosses me out. It's disgusting, is what they're saying. It's disgusting to me. It gives me disgust. Dar is paired up with a lot of nouns when a certain thing produces a feeling in you. Another noun that might pair up with dar is, and you know, remind me, ooh, I'm going to give you a little video for homework that does this, because this vale la pena. It's very good. And notice, none of these are descriptions. Miedo is fear, not afraid. Asco is grossness, disgust, okay? Nervios is nerves, not nervous, but nerves. Somebody is driving on the highway. Somebody's on the 101, you know where on the 101, and people are like, right? Passing, you know what that is. And somebody says, me da nervios, me da nervios. It gives me nerves, meaning it makes me nervous. So what you're saying with me da, miedo, is it makes me scared. Me da asco, it makes me grossed out. Me da nervios, it makes me nervous. Another one they use this with, me da vergüenza. Vergüenza is shame. Me da vergüenza. Wow, that's kind of a strong word. Me da vergüenza. Whoop. I need my umlaut and I can't get my umlaut to go. Okay, you know what I mean. It should have an umlaut, the double dot. Me da vergüenza. It gives me shame. Oh, it embarrasses me. I'm mortified. I'm mortified. Me da vergüenza. Your dog has pooped on your neighbor's yard and you have no bag to pick it up. Ay, me da vergüenza. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. So dar, something gives you a certain feeling, but notice it's not an adjective, a descriptive word. It's a noun. Dar is used in a lot of situations like this. So, me da miedo is the same thing as tengo miedo. There is another verb, asustar. Asustar means to scare. So somebody may say, me asusta. It scares me. Right? The me in front of it means it is scaring me. It is, I'm not putting on a great big disgusting mask and going, woo, woo, woo. No, I'm not scaring a little kid. Something scares me. Me asusta. Okay? It scares me. Me asusta la tormenta. The storm scares me. Me asustan las arañas. Spiders scare me. They scare me. And notice they do the scaring. So the verb is conjugated for what it is that scares. Yeah. The storm, la tormenta, is one thing. It does the scaring. Who does it scare? It scares me. So does that help, Suwai? Okay. There are a lot of alternate synonyms, words that mean the same thing or very similar things that you might read or hear in Spanish that mean the same thing. But I will give you a video on this thing with dar because it's actually a super common way to express an idea of something producing a reaction in somebody else. Okay, I know exactly which video I'll give you two on that. Vale, magnífico. Otra pregunta, other question from reading or Duolingo or whatever, lo que sea. ¿Sí o no?
Carolyn, I've seen some words put together like we were just talking about with the definite and indefinite articles like ayúdame, dígame, dámelo. When you add it at the end, that shifts, instead of the helping you, if it's at the beginning, it shifts and you say ayúdame, you want someone to help you versus something else.
Oh, okay. So what
Probably not.
you're referring to is this idea that you had me da vergüenza, it gives shame to me, right? Or me da miedo, but the me is in front of the verb, right?
Correct.
But you hear somebody say, ayúdame, and it means help me, not a question mark, help me, okay? Ayúdame. Okay, me da miedo, me da asco, me da nervios. Those are all statements of fact, right? It makes me nervous to drive this highway. It scares me. The storm scares me. The ocean scares me. My dog's puke grosses me out, right? But now when we say ayúdame, you're not stating a fact, something that is happening. You're giving somebody a command. You're saying, hey, do this. And the thing you want somebody to do is help. Ayúdame. When we have a command in Spanish, instead of having the me in front of the verb, the me gets attached to the end of the verb. For a yes, go do it command, we attach the little pronoun to the end of the verb. So ayúdame is help me. Dame is give me. Escúchame is listen to me. See? Okay. Yeah, sorry. So you get the idea. With an affirmative, a yes, go do it. Go do that thing. You're giving an order. With a command that's an affirmative, go do it command, we attach the little pronouns. With negative commands, we don't. They come back up in front of the verb. Okay? But know that me da miedo is just expressing the reality of this is happening. Me da asco, it tells you, oh, this is happening. Me da nervios, oh, this is happening. But ayúdame is something else. Ayúdame is an order. You're telling somebody, go do that action.
Marilyn, the last three that you have up there, the commands, it's just the verb, right? It's not, there's no pronoun there.
Right.
Is that right?
Because when you give a command, you don't say, hey, you. Well,
Yeah.
you might. Hey, you, help me. You might. But generally in English, you just help me. You're telling somebody to do it, right? And we don't usually say the you when we give somebody a command.
Right.
Hey, lift this. Give me this. Hey, say something.
If you say help her, though, would it be ayúdale?
Ayúdala. Ayúdala.
Ayúdala. Okay.
Ayúdala. Help her.
Okay.
Ayúdala. You sometimes hear it as ayúdale. Ayúdale, if it's a you command, it's going to get too into the weeds. You may
Don't
hear
worry
it,
about it.
just know that you may hear it as ayúdale, which means, not that different, but ayúdala, help her.
Okay.
Ayúdalos, help them.
Okay.
Así es. Okay. Bueno, ¿qué más? Patricia, Pat, did that answer your question?
Oh, sí, gracias.
¿Sí? ¿Bien? Okay, vale. Más preguntas. Any other questions from Duolingo or reading or any of that stuff before we get into our números practice? Make sure you got your receipts ready. ¿Sí? ¿No? Nah? Okay, vale. Magnífico. Okay. Vamos a ver. Let's see. Let's do, before we dig in and dive in, let's take a quick look at los números. Los números para repasar. Today is going to be a day. We're going to do our first breakout session just on practicing some numbers because it really, really helps. So we're going to take a big look because, with your receipt, a lot of your receipts are going to have things that go up into the 100. Oh, maybe you've got something that is several hundred. Don't know. But remember, I'm going to go like by tens, right? By tens, by teens, I don't know, double digits. You don't need help with 1 through 10, except maybe a reminder that word nueve, it's important that you pronounce it as nueve, not nuevo. Nuevo, it means new, like brand new. So always make sure if you mean 9, the number, you don't mean new, something you just bought. So that number 9 is not nuevo, because that means new. It is nueve, nueve. Okay, vale? But we've got 10, 10, 20. Think of the vein in your arm, right? Because E, people mess that up all the time. I before E except after C. We don't have that in Spanish, no existe, right? So you got to pronounce it the way it's spelled. Veinte is 20. 20. Think of the vein in your arm. 20. 20. 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60 with the double S. Like seis has 2 S's, sesenta has 2 S's. 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90. And then we get our hundreds, right? 100 only if it's 100. But if it's 101 or anything higher, we have to go to the longer word for 100, which is ciento, ciento, right? Ciento, and then 200, 300, 400, 500. That's the hard one, 500, because it's not 500. No, 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 it's 500. 600, 700, 800, 900. And then if we get all the way up to 1,000, it's 1000. Okay, so 1000, like we use milliliters, but yeah, 1000, 1,000. Okay, ¿vale? Bien. Bien.
Bien.
Ok. Excelente. Lo que quiero. What I want to do with you guys is take any little receipt that you have and just practice. You're going to practice in some smaller groups and help coach each other. So what that means is if you hear somebody saying nuevo, right, you will gently correct and say, 9. Do you mean 9? Oh, remember that one is nueve. Help coach each other through your little receipt. I want you to just read off some items. Como por ejemplo, I'll give you an example here. Uy, ¿dónde está? Where is my example? ¿Dónde está mi ejemplo? Aquí, por ejemplo. So of course, you're not going to have a share screen with your partner, but you will have a little list of numbers with you, right? So, you know, I've got things up here on this screen because it's easier than reading this on my little screen. You know, you might read 6.99. La lista de comidas de Whole Foods, right? This list of items for Whole Foods. Naranjas, 6.99, 6.99, 6.90. You can say it either way, 6.99, 6.99, 6.99, right? Aquí tengo, es café, no sé, no, sí. 3.49, 3.49. A ver. Cream soda, 4.99. And you know, you might just get all the way down to the bottom of the list and look at a total, 63.63 being your total. Todo cuesta, everything costs. Todo cuesta, o el total, the total. El total es 63.63, 63.63. Okay, so just read off some items like what separate things cost or what your total on a couple of bills might be. Pues 3 o 4 minutos, 3-4 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes. Mariana, sí, dime.
Yeah, do you add dólares or centavos?
Well, you know, you're
Dólares.
talking about dólares, so you can leave it off. I mean, you can use it dólares if you want. You can, I mean,
Okay.
you know, it's assumed.
Okay,
It's assumed. You can use it, you can leave it off. Okay, and I need to get some folks into rooms here. A ver, momentito. Get some folks off based on their ability with me. Some of the newer folks are going to come into the room with me. A ver, okay. Casi listo, almost ready, just a couple things. I have to do this. Little partitioning off on my own. Okay, fantastico. Okay, I think I've got people off into a decent number of rooms. I'm going to come into the same room with the newer folks. Just practicing some numbers. We're probably only going to take about 5 minutes or so. 5 minutos. Sí, está bien. And hit your join button. And I'll be in the newbie room in just a bit. Excelente, muy bien, muy bien. Aquí estamos, here we are. Let's have some people doing some practice. Who would like to start?
Okay, I'll start.
Okay,
So I have my Safeway receipt.
yay.
Okay, I got some blueberries. Las Arándanos cuestan $5.
$5. Okay, está bien. Dos más, 2 more things off your list there.
Okay, I got some bread. El pan cuesta $2.25.
Bueno, el pan, muy bien, muy bien.
And then I have another one here, cucumber. Los dos pepinos cuestan $1.
Okay. $1. Okay, vale, magnífico. Somebody else take a turn.
I'll try it.
Bien.
Okay. I'm gonna try a little here. Comprado instrumentos de jewelry. Jewelry. Jewelry.
Oh, joyería.
Joyería.
Joyería. Sí, sí.
Un vicio. 60 y 30 o 63. Un instrumento de soldar. 19 y 35. 30 brocas. 19 y 35. Todo
Ok.
parcial. 94 y 45.
Okay.
You want to- I have a receipt.
Bien. Bien, magnífico. Magnífico. Gracias, Pat. Okay, who else wants to take a turn with few numbers?
I can go ahead.
Vale.
Un café, 5:19, Dolores.
Bien.
I don't know how to say this. I should. I'm gonna cheat 1 second. In Spanish, let's see, how do I say those? Factura de seguro, 1073.
1073, 1073.
Yes. And that was for insurance bill. And then grocery was 86. And then how do we say the cents? Is that con?
Often con, people may say it as E.
Okay.
E or con works.
So 86 con 20.
86 con 20. Muy bien, muy bien. Fantástico, gracias. Roger, ¿tienes algo?
Yes, I put a comment on my blueberry thing. And estas bellas son azules, no rojas. Bayas rojas crecen en Wisconsin.
En
Wisconsin.
sí, sí, sí.
So I'm trying to say that these are blueberries, not red berries like cranberries, because apparently in Spanish,
Yeah.
they use the same arandos or
Arándanos, yeah.
yeah, for blueberries and cranberries.
Yeah, cranberries and blueberries get the same word. I can't tell you, except probably because it's not a native crop. That's all I can tell you. I don't know why that is.
La leche de avena cuesta $3 50 centavos.
Okay,
Okay,
tres,
La-
$3.
$3. Yeah.
Okay, bien.
And how do you say banana? Bananas? Banana?
Well, you can't say it's bananas. Some people use plátanos.
Oh,
Yeah, and of course, you know, whether things are actually plantains, which we call plantains, or banana, sweet banana. Some of these, like plantains, are fried, but bananas are not fried.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that whole Caribbean thing going on. So they're more specialized in their words for bananas. Plátano is what I typically use. Some people do use banana. Plátano also means banana, plátano, even though it sounds like plain.
cuesta $1, 7 centavos.
Okay, bien. Bueno, excelente. So if I were to look down my list, I'm going to give you another little, can I do this? I guess I can. This may pop up with a bunch of other people. I guess we'll find out. You know, if I were to look at all of these items on this screen, tengo arroz, 5,48. Tengo sweet tarts, es un dulce. $1.48. Mahatma Jasna es arroz. 5,48 otra vez. I don't no sé qué es. I don't know what this one is. 9,52. New York strip. Es bistec. We know that one's a steak. 15,95. 15,95. Sí. Cebollas, 97. Sí. Patatas o papas, 1,58. Ajo, garlic, 89. See, so we could look all the way down this list. I'm getting close to my 5-minute mark here when I bring everybody back. So sum total. Sí, tenemos aquí 90,91. Impuestos, taxes, $9,9. Y el total a $100, $100, que nunca se pasa. That never happens, right? That never happens that way. $100, $100 on the button. Okay.
Marilyn,
Bien?
when you were reading down there, you were just saying the numbers and
Just saying the
no
numbers.
dollars or cents.
Right, because you know
Yeah,
it's understood
okay.
that because it's understood which denomination we're talking about. You know, yeah. And of course, denominations will always change depending on where you are and what their monetary unit is and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to bring everybody back here. So, ¿qué pasa? We're going to close all the rooms. Bring everybody back in. I need to shake myself off of mute. I need to remember to do that when I come out of breakout rooms. Sometimes I forget. A veces me olvido de todo. Sometimes I forget everything. Okay. Muy bien. Muy bien. Excelente. Bueno, hay algo. Tenemos todos. Do we have everybody back? I think we're still waiting on somebody. Alguien, no sé. Okay. Eso es. A ver, ok. Entonces estamos, everybody back in now. Bien, bien. ¿Alguna pregunta? Any question? And you need to take yourselves off of mute if you didn't do so already. ¿Sí o no? ¿Nada?
Nada.
Bien, okay, vale. A little bit, we're going to have a little video. This is a little comprehensible input video, which is good to do every once in a while. I like to give some of those as like a homework thing for you to listen to. Comprehensible input means that somebody uses either no English at all or very little. They're going to use a great deal of depicting things that they can't explain. They'll either try to explain the word in very simple Spanish, or they will draw a picture of it to give you the idea. But in other words, comprehensible input tells a little story, tells a little story, uses little to no English, so that you can follow what the story is and pick up the words along the way. So it's a more natural, if you would, a natural way of hearing how a story is told with the words in the right order and all that good stuff. This is going to incorporate a lot of number things, other simple ideas, but see how much you can follow the story. 6 minutos. No son muchos, not so much. ¿Pueden ver? Can you see this? Okay, I'm going to show you a little tricks for if you want to watch this again later. One little trick, you know, we can turn on this CC box, which you probably already know about, that will give you subtitles. But some comprehensible input videos don't give you subtitles, but what you can also do besides the CC closed caption box, if you come down to this bottom where they give ratings and comments and all that stuff on the YouTube, the ... the 3 dot button down here, it's not doing it for this one. Oh yeah, open transcript. See where it says open transcript?
Oh.
This is another little tool that is helpful for you to know. Don't hit the report button. So that means that they've done something like use bad language, which he didn't do. So what we are going to take a look at is to see what happens when we turn that on. When you turn that on, it's going to do, it's going to give you by like the time marker, a little running transcript of what he says at like every 5-10 seconds, however the breaks in the language are. So it'll give you closed caption in a slightly different way than you have with that CC button, but it will kind of like karaoke, do things in praise. Yeah, do things in praises. So you may want to try that the next time you watch a YouTube. I wanted to show you where that is. I don't think that's going to stay up if I put up full screen. No, it won't. And I need full screen for this. Okay, he's going to tell a little story. Vamos a escuchar aquí.
Televisión, en la televisión,
En la televisión.
cada día, cada día, cada día,
Cada día, cada día. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Cada día. Cada es each, every. Bien.
vemos noticias malas. Vemos malas noticias.
Noticias son news. News. Not new item, news. Vemos malas noticias. We see bad news. Okay.
Pero, ¿sabíais que el mundo está mejorando? Está mejorando.
Mejorando, 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 mejorando. Mejorando indica algo bueno y bueno y bueno y bueno. Mejorar, mejorando. Ando makes it an ing. Mejorar es bueno y bueno y bueno. Mejorar is to improve, to get better. está mejorando, is getting better. El mundo, the world, el mundo está mejorando. The world is getting better. It is improving. Ha.
Pues sí, si miramos la tele, parece
It seems,
que todo está empeorando, que está
and empeorando es el opuesto de mejorando. Mejorando, improving, empeorando, getting worse. Okay. Peor, P-E-O-R, that's buried right in the middle of that closed caption. See, peor es worse. Empeorar es to get worse.
empeorando, empeorando, empeorando. Pero si miramos los datos, los números, vemos que muchas cosas están mejorando.
Many things are
Están
getting better.
mejorando. Sí, sí. Por ejemplo, hace 31 años,
Hace 31 años. This hace with 31 makes it ago.
Mm.
31 años is 31 years ago. The hace makes it ago.
en 1987, en 1987,
And notice how he says the year, 1987. When you say years in Spanish, this is part of why we're playing this. You can't say it as 1987. It has to be 1987. So I'm going to back this up so that you hear him say the year again. He's going to have to say the year as 1987 instead of 1987.
hace 31 años, en 1987, había 23 guerras. Guerras había.
¿Qué son guerras? ¿Qué son guerras?
War.
Wars. Wars. Armed conflicts. Había. I means there are, like right now, but había makes it ago. There were. Yeah, there were 23 wars.
23, pero el año pasado, en 2017,
So he made this in
solamente
2018.
12 guerras. Hemos mejorado y ahora hay un 10%.
¿Qué es 10%?
10%.
10%. Por ciento means per hundred. Per hundred is percent. Por ciento is percent. 10%.
De la población, 10% de las personas de todo el mundo que son pobres, no tienen dinero, tienen muy poco dinero, son muy pobres, son extremadamente pobres, un 10%, pero hace 31 años, en 1987, era un 37%. Era mucho más. Había mucha gente que no tenía dinero, que era muy pobre. Hemos mejorado mucho. Cada día hay 137.000.
137,000. 137,000. 137,000. 137 Mil. I'm making it into the, pushing into the hundreds of thousands.
Personas que dejan de ser pobres, que ya no son pobres, tienen más dinero. Cada día, 137.000 personas ya no son pobres.
Ya no son, are no longer. Ya no son pobres, are no longer poor.
Tienen más dinero. Sí, sí. Y en el pasado, hace más de 100 años, o sea, en 1900,
Hace más de 100 años. More than 100 years ago. When we use hace with years, it makes it ago.
más o menos, había un tercio de
Un tercio. Es una fracción, es una parte del total. Un tercio is one third. Un tercio.
de los niños se morían. Sí, sí. Un tercio de los niños no crecían más de 5 años.
Okay. Se morían, used to die.
Más de 5 años no llegaban, se morían. Sí, sí, sí. Pero ahora en África, en los países, dentro de África, hay países. En los países más pobres,
¿Qué son países? Países de África.
Countries.
Countries of Africa. Los países más pobres.
Very poor.
Yeah, the poorest countries. The countries most poor. The poorest countries. Los países más pobres.
que tienen menos dinero, solamente un 6% de los niños se mueren. Ujú. Y un 6% todavía es mucho, pero hemos mejorado mucho en todo el mundo. En el mundo entero ha mejorado. Ujú. Y también, si miramos la tele, parece que el terrorismo está creciendo. El terrorismo, ¿no? Como Bin Laden, Al Qaeda, ISIS. Parece que está creciendo, pero si comparamos,
Y crecer es to grow. So está creciendo, it is growing. But he's going to say, pero, pero is but, so he's going to negate it. Pero si comparamos, if we compare, comparar cosas, comparar cosas, ¿sí? El terrorismo parece que está creciendo, pero si comparamos,
en 2017 murieron 238 personas murieron por terrorismo en Europa. En Europa Occidental murieron 238 personas, que son muchas, pero en 1987 murieron 440 personas. Sí, sí. Y 238 todavía son muchas. Tenemos que esforzarnos por
make an
reducirlo.
effort, esforzarnos.
No estamos muy mal, vamos mejorando. Ujú. Sí, porque en el mundo hay muchas cosas todavía que están mal, pero hay muchas cosas que están mejorando y nosotros lo estamos haciendo bien. Tenemos que seguir esforzándonos, seguir trabajando.
We have to keep making an effort, esforzándonos, seguir esforzándonos. We got to continue making effort. We have to keep on making an effort.
Porque estamos haciéndolo muy bien. Así
We're
que
doing well.
felicidades y vamos a seguir así, ¿vale? Tenemos que ser más optimistas y mirar la tele menos. Mirar menos.
What menos? Watch TV less. Okay. Es obvio, antes de la pandemia. This is obviously before the pandemic. See?
Mirar menos.
Okay.
Y vosotros,
Oh, he's
¿hay
from Spain,
alguna
so he uses
cosa,
the vosotros.
algún
You
dato de
guys,
aquí que a vosotros os ha sorprendido?
something that
Decídmelo
surprised you.
en los comentarios.
If
¿vale?
there's something that surprised you, tell me in the comments. Okay. Voy a enviarles a ustedes este video. I'm going to send that video so you can watch again. I want you to try the next time you watch to hit that 3-dot button way at the bottom and open the transcript. And it'll, like karaoke, you know, give you like each little thing as he's doing it. The transcripts tend to be usually a little more accurate than some of the closed caption stuff. And they give you those words in chunks, in units that hang together, which is kind of helpful. Okay.
Marilyn,
Sí.
pero la clima no es muy mal.
Sí. Ok, el video es de 2017. No, 2018. That's a 2018 video. Trying to make you guys think that things are better than they are. Optimismo. Necesitamos optimismo. We need optimism. Guy. Okay. A ver. But that is a good way to show you how, try to listen again so you see how the structures of those words, which words hang together in groups, right? How do you hear those big numbers? How do you hear them roll along? And you'll notice he did use a feminine form for like the 200s and 400s because he talked about personas, a feminine plural thing. That doesn't happen very often in Spanish, but once in a while. Okay. Bien. Usually we don't worry about the feminine, masculine too much with numbers, but in that case, he did. Okay.
My question.
Sí, dime.
The question is like this for the next week. I hope you don't ask us to make this homework with all the statistic number or whatever.
All that? No. Just more. It's good for you to listen.
Tengo miedo.
Tienes miedo. What is good to do is to listen to people giving a lot of numbers. Yeah, because the more you listen to this, the more you will naturally start to pick up and understand what numbers they're talking about. Because just as important as you pronouncing those numbers is you hearing people give numbers that you accurately know, like what price they're giving. Or if they say you are in a certain room number in a hotel, a really big hotel with like 200-300 rooms, that you know the number that you have. So that ability to interpret numbers when you listen to people is really the big skill that is the big takeaway. And the more you listen, the more you will improve with that. Mejorar. You will, vas a mejorar, ¿verdad? Vas a mejorar. You're going to improve. Okay. I also said that I wanted you to think about maybe a collection. And do some of you have a collection of things to talk about? See? Okay, vale. Let's do this one all together. Voy a empezar. Yo voy a darles a ustedes mi ejemplo. Mi ejemplo. Y van a reírse. You guys are going to laugh, especialmente Nora, especially Nora, porque ella conoce a mi esposo, because she knows my husband
Uh-oh.
really well. ¿Dónde está mi foto? Un momentito. Y mi foto se fue. My photo went away. Recién. Un momentito. Aquí viene. Here it comes. Quiero que ustedes hablan quizás un poquito de una colección de cuántas cosas. How many things you got in this collection? ¿Sí? Una colección, el total de un grupo. Bien. No es una conversación muy larga. Por ejemplo, and if you have a picture of something, you will be able to share on screen. I'm going to show you my share first. If you have a photo off your computer and you want to show a photo of a collection of things off of your computer, you hover down at the bottom of your screen where you've got that mute button, all that band down there, it'll say share. So don't hit the share button yet, but it'll say share with share screen. I'm going to share my screen first. Voy a darles mi ejemplo. ¡Oh, qué feo! ¡Qué feo! Mi esposo tiene una colección grandísima, una colección enorme, una colección muy grande de zapatos y botas, y así yacen, there they lay around. Sí, es exactamente como así. Sí, tomé esta foto anoche. I took this photo last night. Siempre lo mismo. Ok. Tiene una colección enorme de zapatos para caminar en el desierto, allá, ¿verdad? Ok. Ay, ¿cuántos zapatos tenemos? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Ay, ya saben. Ok. Voy a adivinar. I'm going to guess. Voy a calcular, voy a evaluar el número de zapatos que tiene. Tiene por lo menos 30 zapatos, por lo menos, que no usa, that he does not use. No usa con frecuencia. Ay, ok. Me da asco. I am grossed out by this stuff. Ok. Pero, ¿sí? Ok. A ver, I'm going to do my stop share. ¿Alguien quiere hablar de una colección de cosas? Anybody who wants to share how much, Jan, dinos algo.
Mi hijo también colecciona zapatos. Millones.
Millones. Miles, thousands, miles de
oh.
zapatos.
Yeah.
Por todas partes.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué no pone los zapatos en el armario? Why not put them in the closet? Porque mis zapatos están en el armario. Okay. Janet, you'll have to take yourself off of mute if you want to share. Oh, keep trying. Okay. Bien. Sí. Está bien. You're good.
Good, okay. So tengo un colección yo saleros y pimenteros.
Otra vez.
Okay. Tengo un coleccionio salernos y pimenteros.
Pimenteras, ok. Saleros.
Yeah, salt and pepper shakers.
Ah, okay, pimenteros. ERO makes it a thing that contains, let's see, sí, pimenteros. Ah, salt and pepper shake. Oh, qué interesante. En formas diferentes.
Mis padres me dieron un cuando era joven.
Ah,
When you were young.
Yeah,
Juan-
aquí hay un foto
it should let you
de
share a
la,
picture.
de la primero que me dieron.
Que me
Cuando,
dieron that they gave to me. Que me
Right.
dieron.
cuando tiene 8 años.
Ah, okay.
Este
Ah.
esto es probablemente mi favorito.
And we can't see your picture yet.
Yeah.
At least I can't see it yet.
Oh, you.
But
Okay,
just tell us about, just tell us about them.
I'm gonna hold it up then.
Oh,
If you keep-
okay.
Sure, I'll hold it up. Let me see. I'm gonna hold it up.
Genial. Oh, clever. Genial.
Okay, let me try to share. I'm gonna try to share some. Okay, let's see. Let me just see if this works.
Oh,
Oh,
podemos ver. Un par con el señor Papa y la señora Papa. Papas, potatoes, ¿sí?
That's cute.
Con tema de música, con tema de dibujos animados, a little cartoon. Sí, los personajes de dibujos animados.
oh.
Me gusta la colección muchísimo. Qué preciosa colección. Me gusta, Jen, excelente. Entonces, ¿tienes por lo menos 7 u 8?
Tengo
Dios mío.
30 o 40.
Wow.
Do I say solernos y pimenteros?
Saleros. I was hearing an N, that's why I was getting mixed up. Saleros, yeah. Saleros, pimenteros. Saleros. I'll write them down in the chat box here. Saleros. We would call them a salt shaker, see? Pimenteros. Pepper shaker. See? Pimiento is pepper, yeah. Sal is salt, so saleros. ERO means a thing that does that job. So it holds salt, salero, okay? Pimentero. Bien. Excelente. Es buen ejemplo. That's a great example. Es gran ejemplo, Jen. Me gusta muchísimo. I really, really like that. Hay otra cosa. ¿Alguien tiene otra cosa? Anybody have a different item? They wish to share? Sí o no? Oh, okay. Vale. Bueno, sí, Suwai. And you'll have to take yourself off of mute, Suwai.
Okay, I will see if
And
I
if you've got a picture you can share, that's always great. Es fantástico. Si tienes una foto.
Okay, so I'm just going to put it at my background.
Está bien. That's fine. Sirve. That works. Ooh. Oh. Son cactus. Are those cacti?
Sí.
¡Ah!
Mhm.
Aw.
Del jardín. ¡Ah!
Ah, muy bien.
Tengo una colección de cactus. Tengo aproximadamente 360
Wow.
macetas.
¡Wow!
What?
¡Wow!
Y sobre 240 tipos.
Wow.
En mis cactus principalmente de América Latina y Sudáfrica.
Oh. Y Sudáfrica.
Sí.
Sudáfrica también. ¡Qué
Mm.
interesante! Me sorprende mucho.
Sí.
Wow, it surprises me a lot. Me sorprende mucho. ¡Qué buena foto! ¡Qué buena foto, Suwai! ¡Ay! ¡Ah! Ok, me gusta. Y tienes que regarlos. You have to water them muchísimo o muy poco. Muy poco.
Muy
¿verdad?
poco.
Muy poco.
Cada 2 semanas.
Cada 2 semanas.
Yes.
2 semanas.
Yes.
Bien.
Cada 2
Mm.
semanas.
Magnífico, magnífico, excelente, me gusta. Bueno, algo más. Anything more? ¿Alguien?
No.
I can go with one.
Okay, Nora, bien.
These are canicas. Mi canicas. Tengo 5 frascos, botellas de carnicas.
Ah.
Cinco botellas
Ok, sí,
de carnica.
mejor. Ah,
Algunos son grandes, algunos son pequeños, algunos son bonitas
ajá.
y algunas son feo.
Ok.
Algunas son viejas,
Ah,
Mm.
old.
pero algunas son nuevas.
Sí. Y otra palabra también, carnicas or bolitas. Bolitas would be little balls, which is,
Right.
yeah. There is a word mármol, which means marble, but that's like marble, like if you were carving a statue.
Oh,
or
okay.
if your countertop was made out of marble.
Oh, so I
Okay.
don't, okay, wrong word then.
Right. So yeah, the word of
little
canicas
balls.
or bolitas. Yeah, bolitas means little balls. So those two words are interchangeable for,
Okay.
when it's a toy. Es un
Right.
juguete, ¿no? Es un juguete. Entonces, en el frasco, in the bottle, en la botella, hay 50, hay 100. ¿Cuántos hay?
200.
200, ok. 200 canicas, 200 bolitas. Bien. Excelente. ¿Tienes esta colección, Nora, de niña? Do you have this from the time you were a kid? De niña.
Sí.
Ah.
Sí. Cuando mi papá visitar la tienda de Antigua, maybe. And
Okay.
we went to
okay.
antique stores.
Ok. Tiendas de cosas antiguas, sí, antigüedades are antiquities or, old things. Bien.
Yeah.
Ah, excelente. Eso me gusta. I like that too. Ah, qué interesante. Bueno, hay alguien más. Anybody else got a little collection they want to talk about? Jeff, dinos
Okay.
algo.
Sí, tenemos una colección de imanes. Magnets.
Imanes. Ah, magnets.
Ujú. Más que 600.
600.
Sí, sí,
Ay,
sí.
Dios mío.
Ah,
En la nevera, refrigerator, en el refrigerador.
en los paredes.
O en las paredes, ok.
Yes, con pizarrón magnéticos.
Okay.
Pizarrones magnéticos.
Ah, pizarrón is a blackboard, you know, a board. Yeah, like you would use in a classroom. Ah, excelente.
Sí.
¿Y cuáles son las formas de los imanes?
Por ejemplo, algunos son graciosos.
Ah, funny ones, sí.
Este es de Key West.
Iba a adivinar, sí, la
Yeah,
Florida,
yeah, yeah.
sí, la Florida.
Otra vez, esto es de Londres.
Ah, de Londres.
Westminster-
Oh,
Westminster
Westminster.
Abbey. Yep.
Ah,
Y algunas es gracioso, por ejemplo, los tres chiflados. Cuando viajamos, compramos imanes como recuerdos de los lugares que visitamos.
bueno, sí,
Okay,
as souvenirs of the places we visit.
Yes,
Exacto.
Sí, 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 sí.
Exacto. Ah,
Ah.
qué gracioso.
Maybe, let's see. Maybe I can show you.
Okay.
Let's see if I
Ooh,
can show you what it
Cuando-
looks like.
La langosta.
¿Cuántas?
Wow, that lobster is the best. La langosta.
¿Cuántas tienes?
600,
Oh.
más de 600. Ay, es una pared entera. That's a whole wall.
Just keep going down.
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow. Wow, Jeff. Sí, es una colección de verdad. That is a real collection. Es una
You collect
colección
more.
de
Running out of
verdad.
room.
I know. He collected more than I do. Now
You have
it's a big competition now.
you have a magnet room.
Ah,
Jeff, my husband is already complaining about the fridge that is full of magnet every time we go somewhere and I bought something. He's like, where are you gonna put it? Do we need to buy another fridge? He said.
We just got another board because we haven't more to put on.
oh,
Oh, so funny.
Okay.
So I feel better now.
It's all relative.
Bien hecho. Well done. Bien hecho. Okay. Alguien más? Anybody else got a collection that you could not get in more variety than we got here today so far?
I do.
No? Okay.
I'll try.
Vale. Bueno.
Tengo una colección de objetos de arte, pero Sudamérica, México, México de Central. Este es un. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you can see it.
Ooh.
It's Quechua en norte de México, juntos de Texas, y de Oaxaca.
Ah, y
sí,
son
¿verdad?
figuras.
Yes,
Mejor.
es
Sí.
muy pequeño. Y tengo pinturas y mainly animales. painted, pintado.
Bien, sí. Voy a ver, un momentito. No, eso no, un momentito. Especialmente cuando hablas de figuras de arte de Oaxaca, como por ejemplo, hay un término muy específico,
Oh.
a real specific
Oh,
term for that kind of art object. Tienes razón, you are correct, que es un objeto de arte. Objeto de arte es art object. Sí, ¿verdad? Pero hay una palabra muy específica, ¿sí? Especialmente cuando hablamos de los objetos de Oaxaca. Es un tipo de arte indígena. This is a really indigenous art thing, ¿sí? Alebrije. Alebrije is what they call, wood carving. Some are wood, some are paper mache. Sí, depende. It really depends. And this was, if any of you, as we are getting close to Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead in November, well, we're about a month off, but if any of you have Disney Plus or stream Coco, the movie, la película Coco, which was really originally made as a kids show, but I guarantee if you watch it, you won't feel like, oh,
really
I'm watching
good.
a kids show. You won't
It's a
feel that
good
way.
movie.
It's a
good
very
movie.
good movie.
Yeah.
It is really a movie about family values and anyway, I won't get into that yet. Maybe not before Dia de Muertos, but a lot of the little figures in this are animations of these kinds of things. Alebrije is a form that was really magnified by a couple of specific artists. And they are fantastical forms, but, kind of based on animals, you kind of know. And so the alebrijes is a really well-known art form, specifically from Mexico, usually Oaxaca. Oaxaca is a big center for Dia de Muertos, the first, second, third of November. Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead sounds like such a downer, but it really isn't. It's remembering your ancestors who are passed on, who have passed away. So it's a very family-oriented, very spiritual kind of holiday. Muy bien, Pat, es excelente. That is really excellent. Okay, a ver, ¿hay alguien más? Anybody else got a different collection? ¿Otra colección, sí o no? Ya no?
I can give it a try.
Bueno,
Meryl.
Roger,
I don't
sí,
have
bien.
much, but I'll show one thing here. Tengo una colección de plantas y flores para conferencias. Una gran flor blanca es datura. Datura es tóxico. Las plantas del desierto son una fuente de agents chemoterapeuticas. Here is the, all I have is, boy, I don't know if that's going to show.
Uh-huh.
You can see the big white flowers there. These are
Sí.
4 inches. It's a ground type of plant, and it has, the fruit is a thorn apple. And this was used by the Native Americans as a hallucinogenic. When the young man wanted a vision, the shaman went to Datura. But desert plants are a good source for chemotherapeutic agents because a lot of them have toxic effects.
Yeah.
Do you grow those or you just like to?
Oh,
see them in the
no,
desert?
I have photos of these for presentation in a lecture series.
Oh,
Ok. Muy bien. Excelente. Y voy a... Y las cosas que tenemos aquí. Tengo una foto más. Tengo una foto más. ¿Cuál es la foto más graciosa? Which one is the funniest photo? Aquí. Es esta. Es esta. Momentito. Las colecciones que tenemos en nuestra casa principalmente son de mi esposo. My husband is the collector. Aquí tiene también, ¿sí? Ya saben
Oh, wow.
sus intereses. Now you know his interests, ¿sí?
Yes.
Okay. Es el cuarto que está detrás de mí, This is behind where I am sitting right now. Hay un cuarto especial. Hay un cuarto en nuestra casa. En nuestra casa hay un cuarto especial. Y originalmente, ¿entienden? Originalmente, este cuarto era un cuarto para que los invitados se duerman cuando visiten la casa, when they might visit the house, ¿sí? Pero ahora, durante la pandemia, no tenemos invitados. We have no guests, ¿no? Okay. Entonces, mi esposo usa el cuarto que está detrás de mí para sus pesos, su equipo de hacer ejercicio, ¿verdad? Tiene pesas, weights, ¿sí? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bueno, sí, quizás 20 pesas, about 20 weights, ¿sí? Bandas elásticos, ¿sí? Para otra vez la flexibilidad y para hacer ejercicio y barras y todo para hacer ejercicio, para levantar pesas, to lift weights. Así es, en nuestra casa hay un montón de cosas. We've got all kinds of
You can open a gym now.
junk, all kinds of junk in our house.
No, you can open a gym at your house.
Sí, lo puedo hacer. And it scratches the surface, guys.
Oh, God.
Pueden imaginar. You can just imagine. Okay.
At least it's in a good shape.
Yeah. I am going to give you a little preview of what we're going to prep for next week. And it'll be ever so slightly different, but not tremendously different for the newbie people. From those of you who are coming in from that Spanish Step 1 class, I will want you to go to your old book, those of you who are newer. And, I don't know, some of you may want to do this again because these are chapters we never really get to. It'll be, es el capítulo 8, chapter 8, at a restaurant, which you may say, what the heck? Why at the restaurant? I better make sure I've got the right chapter. No estoy segura. I am not so sure. Quizás no es 8. Oh, no, perdón. Es o sea, 9. 9, perdón, no es 8, es 9, It's 9 out of this old book. But those of you who don't have this old book will see, you'll see. What I want you to focus principally on, if you've got the old book, if you're one of the new people coming in, es el verbo ir. Because there's a lot in chapter 9. That won't be the only thing in chapter 9, but ir. Ir is to go. And we use ir for many, many things to say that you go to a place. For some of you who are brand new, ir will be a brand new verb. Y voy a compartir. I'm going to share you the slides, and I will send this out in the email for everybody. There's going to be a little audio video for you to listen to also. So we're going to have our mini lesson to get you prepped for next week, la semana que viene. We're going to review ir and all the many ways we use ir. Ir, very irregular. Wow, you learned that we take off the IR or the AR or the ER from an infinitive, and then you put an ending on, but when you take away the IR from ir, you got a whole lot of nothing. So they all start with a B chica. They always start with the V. B chica means little v, and that's what that letter is. They all start with a V for present, presente, right? So we get voy, vas, va, and va is used for él va, ella va, usted va, vamos for nosotros, vais only in Spain, right? For you guys go, that's the plural of tú, and ellos van, ellas van, ustedes van. So the good thing to know with ir, and I'll give you a couple little videos on ir. One will be just the mechanics of ir, and the second will be ir in context, in a story, a comprehensible input story. With ir, and first of all, you have to just know all these forms of ir. It literally does mean to go to a place, but ir is usually very often, I'm not going to say 100% because it isn't, but very often followed by this word a, but it's followed by a no matter which way you use it. Hay dos maneras de usar ir. There are two ways or two reasons we use ir. And the first is when we say you're literally going to a place, like voy a casa. The a means to, T-O, meaning in the direction of, meaning telling you a destination. So we need ir, the form of ir, the little word a. You must have that little word a to say to, and then a place. So voy a casa, I'm going home, and a casa does not mean to the house. A la casa is to the house, but a casa is home. A casa, we sometimes stick the a in front of a word like donde, a donde vas, to where are you going, literally. Va usted a un restaurante, are you going to a movie? So we often need that little word a, often, very, very frequently. So we use a to talk about going to a place. Sometimes we may name the place, right? Vamos a la farmacia. Van ustedes al metro. Are you going to the subway? A and el next to each other. Those two words have to smash together to become the new word al. Al is just what they call a contraction. Al means we are smashing together the word a and el. We're making it one word, al. And it only happens when you have a and el next to each other. It becomes al. Todos van al museo. Okay, bien. But if we don't have the al, right, together, then they are separate words. Voy a los parques. Voy a la oficina del médico. Vamos a las tiendas. Anita va al consultorio del médico. So we need a when we talk about a place. But we also use, and you're going to hear this in the context video, we also use it not to talk about going to a place, but to talk about near future. Future that is coming up pretty soon. And that's vague. When is pretty soon? I don't know, in an hour, in a couple of days, in a week. You know, it doesn't matter. It is, instead of using a true future tense, like I will go, or we shall go, which sounds kind of British, I guess you might say. We often say, I'm going to. So this corresponds directly to that structure, the same one we use in English, saying, I'm going to pull weeds. I'm going to trim the hedges. I'm going to pick up the mail. I'm going to clean the countertop. We also use ir not to talk about a destination, but to talk about what we are going to do. So it indicates something that isn't going on right now, but it will happen. And we still need that little word a, okay? But here that little word a doesn't really mean to. it doesn't get translated. We wouldn't translate the little word a in this situation, but you still need ir followed by that word a. Voy a comer, vamos a escuchar, ellos van a tomar un taxi, mi amigo va a pagar. So no matter if you're using it to talk about future or about a destination, going to a place, you always need this little word a, or very frequently need this little word and definitely with activities. So I'm going to give you a little review on the verb ir, and I'm going to give you also a short contextual story. It's probably only going to be 2 minutes on using it to talk about the future. And I want you to incorporate part of your conversation next week on what you're going to do. And I want you to name some specific times. I want you to incorporate this idea of ir a and an activity. And then I want you to incorporate either a time of day or a day of the week or a month of the year, but something to indicate a time period or a specific time. Entienden? And I want you to find at least 5 things to talk about. And I want you to mix it up. Talk about what you're going to do. Talk about what your significant other is going to do. Talk about what your whole family, what everybody in the family is going to do. Talk about what your pets are going to do. Talk about what your neighbors are going to do. Talk about what your employees are going to do. Anything, any combination of words that talks about future activities. ¿Está bien? Are we good with that? See?
Sí.
And I'll give you that extra little video on dar plus a noun. It is super, super useful because you hear people colloquially using that all the time. And it will give you, it will enrich ways for you to express ideas of something making me feel a certain way. That's what it's going to do. Okay, ¿todo está bien? All good?
Sí. Sí.
Magnífico. Y continúan, por favor, leyendo, and keep reading if you've got any little novelita, little novel, or your little Duolingos, or whatever you do for your extra stuff. ¿Está bien? We good?
Sí. Sí.
Bueno,
Gracias.
excelente. Voy a quitar las malas hierbas. I'm gonna take out my weeds. Oh, no quiero hacerlo. I don't want to do it. Okay, que tengan buena semana.